Hey Lorne, are you ready to take a quiz?
Of course I am. What quiz are we doing?
Well, first we have some news to talk about, and that specifically, we're going to talk about the news, because I hear that you're going to be bringing back Defunct Games news this weekend.
It's 100% right. Returning Sunday, and then every Sunday thereafter, we're going to be bringing back all the great, the good, and the gooberific of gaming on a weekly basis. Hosted by me. Maybe you'll see the occasional appearance of our fearless leader here, but we're going to be getting back to all the things that you might have missed, all of the biggest stories of the week, and hopefully bringing a slightly different take on things in our own quirky, underpaid, and overly micromanaged way.
Well, I'm excited. It's been a few months. There have been we've had a bunch of new subscribers, so there are probably a lot of people that have never seen Defunct Games news. So I'm excited to have that come back and have a nice recap every week of a lot of the events, a lot of the news that we may have missed. Is there, boy, I don't know. Is there even a hint that you can give us of what we can expect this weekend?
If I'm giving away hints, I would say, well, he was right, ladies and gentlemen. There's not really a lot more to say to it than that.
Oh, you're going to have to explain that, and I can't wait for Sunday for you to explain that.
Dearie me. Well, suffice it to say, yeah, I gotta eat some humble pie between now and then. Let's put it that way.
Well, what we're going to do today is, I thought it might be fun to, I'm excited for the new episode, but I wanted to hype it up a little bit more. And one of the ways I wanted to do that was there's this project we've been talking about for a while, which is to go back and sort of react to some of the early videos that we did on this channel. And one of the ones that I wanted to do that with was my very first stab. It might have actually been my second stab, but we're going to say that one of the earliest stabs at doing a news show. This was a news show that I did back it's going on 6 years now. It was back in 2015. It was called Online Pass. It was a weekly news quiz. The idea was that I would round up a lot of the news that I thought was pertinent at the time, and then I would ask the audience some questions about it, and then at the very end, I'd answer them. It was a lot of fun. It was interactive, but it didn't get a ton of views. We didn't have a lot of subscribers at the time. And it is something that you do kind of have to play at home. So what I thought would be a lot of fun was if you and I, if my main newsman, if you and I decided to, if we were going to take some of these tests together, just to get ready for the new weekly Defunct Games news episodes. So I'm going to ask you, Lorne, do you think you can beat me at my own game?
I think, having become a cultured, well-traveled, exceedingly well-briefed member of the gaming news media over the past couple of months, and having had a very short but noticeable hiatus period, absolutely not. I think it's doomed to failure.
Now, you may think that this is going to be hopeless, because I am, after all, the person that wrote and edited and hosted all of these episodes, as we're going to find out. But the other thing you're going to have to know is that I don't remember a lot of what happened 6 years ago. My memory apparently not great. So there is a chance that I won't actually know the answer to any of these. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the episode. I think there are only like 7 or 8 questions. We're going to compete against each other. We'll pause at the end of each question. We'll answer it. We'll write it down. We'll find out how many we get right. And then hopefully the people at home will be able to play along and then compete with us. Maybe they'll remember the news from 6 years ago better than me. Does this sound like fun?
I think this sounds like you setting the bar and me limbering under it as always, but it sounds like a hell of a lot of fun, so I can't wait.
All right, so we're just gonna click play on this, and we're gonna watch the quiz. It's only about 7 or 8 minutes, so this shouldn't take too long. Let's jump into the very first episode of Online Pass, the weekly video game news quiz. It debuted July 26th, 2015. Here we go. I still really like this intro. I'm just gonna toss that out there. Big fan of this intro.
This is Online Pass, the weekly video game news quiz show. My name is Cyril Lachel, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions based on some
Don't
of the
worry,
biggest
everyone at home, you're
news
not the only one
stories
dancing
from
to the
past
music.
week. It's your job to answer each question correctly. So grab a piece of paper and a number 2 pencil, because this is a test.
I don't have a number.
I was going to say, I don't have a pencil. It doesn't
I
have
have
about
a pen.
pencils.
Question
Here we
1.
go. Question 1.
Since E3,
Right.
Microsoft has been building a list of Xbox 360 games that will be backwards compatible with the Xbox One. Hip-hop legend Snoop Dogg has made his voice heard by pleading with his fans to support his favorite game. What popular Xbox 360 release does Snoop Dogg want to play on his Xbox One?
Okay. Oh my goodness. Right out of the gate, what does Snoop Dogg want to play? Oh. Did you remember when HuffPost Live was a show? This is that old.
Snoop Dogg's gaming habits. There's a question I'd never thought I'd have to ask myself.
So remember, this is a big deal. The backwards compatibility coming to the Xbox One was a big deal. That's something that the PlayStation 4 didn't have. So they were really they were hyping this up. What did Snoop Dogg want to play though?
All right, I'm going to take a run at it.
Okay.
My thinking is it has to be gangster related to maintain the gimmick. 50 Cent wasn't in any games that were backwards compatible from the Xbox One. So the only thing I can think of and it can't be Halo or Forza or anything like that. So Grand Theft Auto 5, I guess.
Okay, you're going with GTA 5. But GTA 5 was already, like, they had the remastered version.
I didn't give him credit for knowing anything about gaming. I'm just saying what the answer he gave.
All right.
What did you pick?
I don't think that's the right answer. Okay. I don't remember what game it was.
What's your guess?
But
what are you thinking?
I think it's something sports related. I recall it being. I want to say it's one of those EA sports games. Like it's a Madden. It's not FIFA. So it's like a Madden or one of the basketball games.
Could it be a UFC game? He commentated for them for a bit.
Could be. He's also like an announcer in one of those NHL games. So it could be that. Okay. What's the EA basketball one? Is that NBA Live?
NBA's 2K though, isn't it? It has been for a while. I know they were doing 2Ks back in 2015 and 16.
But I think they have one. EA has one too. Maybe it isn't an EA one then. Okay, well, I'm gonna say it's gonna be one of the NBA 2K games. I think.
Okay.
Like it's gonna be NBA. I don't know, 2008 or something.
Good a guess as any.
2K8? I don't know what it was called. Whatever. I'm going to go with that one. All right?
Okay.
So Grand Theft Auto 5 and NBA, one of them. It's probably Madden, though. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll find out at the end. It's gonna tell us at the end. So, now, question 2.
Question 2. This week marked the 14th annual EVO Fighting
Look at this
Game
guy.
Tournament. Thousands of gamers from around the world came together to see the best in Super Smash Bros., Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear,
That's
and 6
serious
other
hype.
high-profile one-on-one fighters. More than 2,200 people signed up to compete in the Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament, making it the show's biggest draw.
This is before Street
On
Fighter
the other
5.
hand, what fighting game sat at the bottom of the list?
Whoa. What was the least popular of the EVO fighting games? So it obviously had to have at least risen to the level where it would actually get a tournament. And so 2015. So this is before Tekken 7. This is before the most recent Soul Calibur. Hell, it's even before Street Fighter 5. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I was going to say Tekken 6, but you made me doubt it now.
Well, I don't know. Like I said,
I mean, the Tekken franchises I know, like they have a following, but I know that they're not super popular. At least until they got that story mode in the 7th game, then people sort of made the equation to the Mortal Kombat series. But
I think Tekken's been pretty popular.
Yeah, sure. Just not on the same level as the NetherRealm stuff that they've been churning out since the remake of Mortal Kombat.
Though I think that like in the tournament scene though, Tekken's pretty big.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play it safe and say Tekken 6 because I know
Tekken 6.
It fits the time frame roughly. What about you?
Well, here's my thinking. Every year they have one of those that is like a novelty that they toss in. This may be like not necessarily a bad fighting game, but it's something that's like older. That it's I don't know, Marvel versus Capcom 2, or it's one of the early Capcom versus SNK games, or something like that. I want to go that direction, but I don't know what it would be. I mean, you know, I could make joke answers like Rise of the Robots or Shaq Fu or something, but I'm gonna say Killer Instinct.
Okay.
The Xbox one, not the original one.
No. I know the one you're talking about. That's a good shout.
I think that would have just come out, so I don't like that. Can't be it, but I'm going with it anyway.
Okay.
All right. Question 3.
Question 3. This is a bonus Evo question.
Ooh.
Why was it stupid for this red shirt to celebrate after winning his Guilty Gear match?
Well,
okay. This one I remember.
So he definitely won.
the guy who celebrated?
Well, okay, so the phrasing of the question makes me immediately suspicious. When they say he won the match, did he actually win both rounds, or is he only celebrating between rounds? That would be my question. So my assumption would be, well, because the round started and then the guy proceeded to whoop him back.
Right. I think that you and I are both going to have the same answer, that he celebrated too early, that he didn't actually win.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's nice to see that we're on the same wavelength for once, but it just seems to me like maybe he had a good round, like an exceedingly good round, and he just wanted to soak it in, and then the other guy's like, okay, you go for your walk, but I'm going to carry on playing.
I actually remember this one, or I of these, I vaguely remember this one, and I mean, this is the sort of story you don't forget. And I think it is the thing where maybe he thought he had won both rounds, and then started celebrating, only to find out have to rush back and have to actually play. But it is, it's one of those, those premature celebration things that you see in the compilations on YouTube. That's I think that's what it is.
I mean, the alternative is that by winning the match, he then goes on to the final round where it's an actual fight against a guy who actually looks like Sagat or something along those lines, where the guy just walks and he's 7 foot tall and 300 pounds, and he that's the mistake. Oh, he won. Big mistake.
Tiger uppercut. All right. Question 4.
Question 4. PS Vita owners were outraged when one of the biggest video games of 2014 was announced for every PlayStation platform except their beloved handheld. They took to Sony's message boards in droves and forced the developer to respond to the public scorn. What game were these fans demanding come to the PS Vita?
Whoa, boy.
I have the faintest idea on this one.
Oh. So 2015.
Every other PlayStation console except the Vita. What game would Sony not would they not think that it's suitable for a handheld? Or it wouldn't translate well.
Yeah. And then also, just because they did bring a lot of their franchises over to the Vita. Like, one of the day one of the launch games was an Uncharted game. So my instinct is to go with something new like that. But what?
Could it be a God of War?
But they had already made a couple of those on the PSP, so they already had done portable versions of God of War. So it can't be that.
But that might be where the outrage comes from then. If they got to maybe the third one and then didn't port it.
Okay, what's the one? What's the superhero one set in Seattle? Is that Infamous?
Yes.
I think it's that.
Okay.
It's something like that. So I'm gonna say Infamous.
Okay. Would people be really that? Because that was a fairly early title, wasn't it?
That was a pretty big franchise back then. They were hyping that a lot. There were the rumors that it was coming.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going with Infamous.
Okay. I'm going to go with God of War 3 or something to that effect. Because, again, I think it's the only franchise I can think of that might have been around at the time that people might have been annoyed at.
Yeah. And to be fair, there should have been a God of War game on the Vita. I mean, the two that were on the PSP were great. All right. So, question 5.
Question 5. After the crushing cancellation of Silent Hills earlier this year, many gamers expected that Guillermo del Toro would wash his hands of video games and go back to making movies. But if IGN is to be believed, that may not be the case. The Pan's Labyrinth director says he's still interested in working with Hideo Kojima on future projects. Believe it or not, Silent Hills was not Guillermo's first failed attempt to break into video gaming. What was the name of the game he was developing for THQ?
Oh, what was that? Oh, no. Oh.
They're good questions.
They are.
Annoyingly
this is a tough
good.
Quiz.
This is tough as hell. If I was the one asking these questions, you'd be calling like, these are awful, but these are
these are good
tough
questions.
Okay. I'm just going to go out right now and say I have no idea, just so I can make it clear that I'm going to piggyback off of your thinking here. So, no pressure. What are you thinking?
I vaguely remember this. I know the people in the audience are screaming at me because this is probably much wider known than I am remembering. Boy. The problem is the only thing I can think of right now is another project that he's been working on but has never been able to actually make, which is his Lovecraft movie, which is like the Hills of Madness or On the Road to something like that. So I don't know, something vaguely Lovecraftian.
I think I'm just going to have to take a hard pass on this one.
Oh, I'm going to feel so dumb when we get to the answer. All right. Here we go. Question 6.
Question 6. This week, the former Team Ninja head, Tamanabu Itagaki, took to social media to push back at critics panning his latest game. He argued that the Wii U controller is too heavy, Wi-Fi isn't good enough, and games journalists are bad at their jobs.
Holla.
What game is he defending?
Oh god, the throwback question. I forgot about that. All right. What game would he be defending in 2015?
Bayonetta? For the Wii controller? No, that was a Wii. No, sorry, that was a Wii U exclusive. My bad.
Yeah. He also didn't work on it.
No. Then again, I'm drawing a blank here, unfortunately. Any
well,
thoughts?
I mean, okay. Considering that, I mean, it would have to be. I mean, it has to be one of his games. You would think so. It has to be either one of the Ninja Gaiden games or, I guess, one of the Dead or Alive games. Could be Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball too.
I was gonna say that as a joke. I didn't know if he'd worked on that though.
He may not have. I don't know.
Do you know what? Just to avoid me passing, that's my pick. Dead or Alive Volleyball.
Okay. I'm going to go, and they just announced a big collection of this. I think I'm going to go with a Ninja Gaiden 3, because I want to say that was 2013, and they would have maybe been talking about a port or something. So I'm going with Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge? I think that was the name of it. We'll find out at the end here. All right, here's our throwback question. I think this is the final question.
Now, the bonus round. For this question, we're going to ditch recent news and see what was going on 20 years ago. We turn to Next Generation's July 1995 issue for the following question. This is Jim Bowers talking about his upcoming game in 1995. The idea was to make something very fast, with lots of 3D movement. A big influence was Power Drome, which was a good idea, but didn't have the technology to do it justice. The plot isn't very important. The point is that while you're playing, certainly with the internal view, the bigger the screen, the more gut-wrenching the game. What game is he talking about?
Oh boy. Why did we start with this episode? Do you have any idea?
None. But, I mean, so what, 1995, and he's referenced something to do with an internal view, so I imagine there's an alternate view that you can toggle between. Okay. What game would make it more gut-wrenching to go inside?
Oh, I think I have a guess. Okay. 95, I think he's talking about... Wipeout.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good shout.
Because can you think of a game that is faster and maybe more visceral feeling than Wipeout in 1995 or like the mid 90s? Like that's the fast game. Mm-hmm.
Nothing else springs to mind.
Yeah,
like considering, because the toggling between the views definitely would.
Yeah.
Especially back in those days when the controls weren't exactly the sharpest.
Right.
It would probably make it a much more... Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
I think it's Wipeout. Right. All right, we got our answers. And let's go ahead and see how we did.
All right, let's do this.
Pencils down, everybody.
Ooh.
Now it's time to see how many you got right. Here are the answers. Answer 1.
Well,
Snoop Dogg is excited at the prospect of backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. This week, the West Coast rapper, best known for Nothing But a G-Thing, Murder Was the Case, and Gin and Juice, asked his 12.6 million Twitter followers to request NCAA Football 14 to be playable on the Xbox One.
All right.
We'll see how that goes.
I actually think that did get... all right, I'm crossing that out. I was on the right path when it came to sports.
Yeah.
But, oof. All right. You know.
Nil points so far, though, but let's see if business picks up for answer 2.
All right.
Answer 2. Although it's at the bottom of the list, Killer Instinct attracted nearly 400 bloodthirsty contestants. According to EVO's own numbers, 397 people signed up for the Microsoft Fighter. That's lower than Persona 4 Arena Ultimax at 437, Tekken 7 at 458, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at 816. Answer 3. When Woshiga won his Guilty Gear match, he was excited. So excited that he stood up and celebrated in front of the audience. Unfortunately, this triumphant moment was cut short when he realized that his match wasn't over yet. While Woshiga was busy celebrating, his opponent was quickly pummeling the would-be champ with a massive combo. That hurts.
Oh!
Had to be.
Oh. Man, even 6 years later, I feel terrible for the guy.
But I think I've seen him in every Don't Celebrate Too Early compilation video set ever on YouTube. So, I mean, the guy's, he's got some FaceTime as a result, so...
I know you don't watch, this is a tangent, I know you don't watch Survivor, but there's a guy on Survivor that made the dumbest move of all of, like, the 40 seasons it's been on. And every time the show needs to like illustrate a dumb move, they always show a clip of him. And they've been doing it for like 15 years. And there comes a point where you just kind of feel bad for him.
You do, but we have him in all walks of life. It's a life lesson. All the kids need to do not celebrate until it's done.
That is so
just
true.
Don't do it.
So true. All right. Answer 4.
Answer 4. When Coffee Stain Studios announced that Goat Simulator was coming to the PlayStation platforms, everybody seemed to be into it. Everybody except for PS Vita owners. Surprised that one of the biggest indie hits of 2014 was passing over the handheld. Vita loyalists took to Sony's website and demanded action. The developers were eventually forced to explain the difficulties in bringing the game to the portable market. At least that new East game is on the way, right?
Okay. Boy, you could have given me all the time and a million answers, and 6 years later, I would not have come up with Goat Simulator.
No.
Oh my god, I barely remember Goat Simulator. Oh no. All right.
Answer 5. With a simple title and compelling premise, Insane was Guillermo del Toro's first foray into video games. It was announced during the 2010 Spike Video Game Awards, and then never heard from again. THQ canceled the game in 2012, with the director retaining the rights. Maybe the third time will be the charm. Answer 6. Itagaki is not a fan of the way the media is covering his newest game. After critics panned The Devil's Third, he started making excuses on social media. First, he blamed the Wii U's oversized controller, suggesting the gamers were more comfortable with the Wii U Pro controller. Later, he would go on to talk about Wi-Fi and the poor skills of modern game journalists. Yeah, he's making friends everywhere he goes.
He just created his own game studio, which I think is just called like Itagaki Studio or something like that. It has a really basic name like that. Yeah, there you go.
Answer 7. After Jim Bauer sat down with Next Generation magazine, he raved about every aspect of his newest game. Well, every aspect except the racing. The game in question is Wipeout, which would go on to become one of Sony's most beloved racing franchises.
That's true.
This will be the first and last time you see Wipeout compared to Powerdrome.
Oh, all right.
There we go.
Well, you know what? I got 3 out of 7. That's not too bad. How do you think you did, Lorne?
I got an actual answer right on one of these quizzes. I am more than proud with myself.
You got 2 right. You got Celebrated Early and Wipeout. I think you piggybacked on my Wipeout.
No. I will hold my hands up. If I genuinely don't know, then I will say, look, I don't know. The only one I tried to maybe pick it was Dead or Alive Volleyball. Like, I'll just throw that in there and see what happens.
He may not have worked on Ninja Gaiden 3. I don't remember the timeline, like which ones, like where he bounced out. I do remember there was another Ninja Gaiden game after it that I reviewed that was terrible, and that series really went downhill in a hurry. Somebody on the Defunct Games comments just a few days ago. We had a great comment that suggested there should be a Ninja Gaiden collection. And obviously he was talking about the arcade version, the NES trilogy, the games on maybe the Game Gear and the Lynx and the Master System, like all the sort of collecting all of even the weird ones together. And so they announced a new Ninja Gaiden collection. It just has all of the newer ones that, people don't want as much.
They kind of got the wrong end of the stick with the request there. So
we did. You needed to be more specific. Now, in reality, though, like that the first Ninja Gaiden game, the one on the original Xbox, is great. It's still one of my favorite, like 3D brawler action games. But, 2 and 3 are not good. Not good.
Well, better than my performance, so that's saying something.
Well, the only thing that matters is if you bring the news on Sunday. And do you think you're going to have a better time bringing the news on Sunday?
I think I'm definitely going to be more accurate in the information that I'm bringing to the screen, as opposed to I put it this way: at no point can I tag you in any of these new segments, so I have to make sure I'm on point, and I'll make sure that I'm on point.
Nice. Well, I am looking forward to that. I'm doing that every week, going forward, and or at least most weeks.
I will continue to do so long as there continue to be promises of a budget that are never met. The bosses, one of these days, I promise you, I will convince them that I am worth paying. One of these days. Dave, on the other hand, I don't know why you guys keep paying him, but whatever, that's fine. Dave does a terrible job, and it's just your guys' choice. That's fine.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not even mad anymore.
Did you have a fun time with this quiz?
I had a lot of fun with this. I had way more fun considering that I thought, okay, 2015, I'm in with a shot, and then suddenly, so let's go back 20 years from 2015, shall we? Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. How about you? Did you have fun?
You know what? Absolutely. This was so much fun. I really dig looking back at some of these old episodes, looking back at, there are 18 more of these. Did you know that? I had so much fun doing this that I don't know about you, Lorne, but if the audience is okay with it, I think I want to keep doing these. I think that maybe we'll post these before each of the new Defunct Games news episodes, or we'll have something on Saturday, something extra to add to the lineup. I don't know. Maybe hopefully the audience will be into that.
Wink. Watch this in droves and share it with all of your friends so Cyril can continue to do quizzes he likes.
I mean, that is a direct way of putting it. Look, I hope everyone digs it. That's all I hope. I hope they have as much fun listening to it as we had making it. And you know what? Pencil it in, because we're going to do this again next Saturday. That's the goal. We're going to do another one of these next Saturday with a whole new episode, the second episode of Online Pass. Anyway, Lorne, thank you so much for showing up and taking this quiz with me. It means so much to me. We always have so much fun hanging out, and I know everybody loves it. And you know what? I think I speak for everybody out there when I say that I can't wait to see tomorrow's episode of Defunct Games News. You do such a great job week after week after week, and I had so much fun with the first season. There's like 18 incredible episodes. All of the news is outdated, but I still go back and watch them because they're so damn funny. All right, we've come to the part of the show where everything fades out and gets quiet. So for both Lorne and myself, we'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching us take the 6-year-old quiz. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we'll be back next week with another one. Now, here's the question I have for you. How many answers did you get right? Be honest. I can't wait to see how much you remember obscure news from 2015. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with the return of Defunct Games News. We're going to follow that up with a look at the Blizzard arcade collection that you're only going to find at Defunct Games. Also, a review of Taxi Chaos. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.